guys, how are you doing? I'm so excited because I get to highlight my annuals that I planted in my front yard. So if you've been following along, I planted a bunch of cheap annuals to fill in. It's kind of a temporary fix until we remodel our front yard, but they're doing so good. I love these annuals because they're so low maintenance. I've only fertilized them once, and that was just sprinkling some granule fertilizer once I planted them about 2 months ago. I am probably going to give them another dose of fertilizer today because they are starting to wear out a little bit. They've been blooming for a very long time, but they look gorgeous. And so I just want to make sure I give them another dose so they keep blooming. But these will bloom all the way until fall, until that first frost hits. So on one side of my front yard, it gets a lot more sun than the other. So you'll see how much these annuals really can take the heat and love the sun. So let's go check them out. It's looking really gorgeous. I'm just going to show you a quick before photo before I show you the flowers. Let's start at this corner. I love the Dusty Miller right at the entrance of this walkway. This spreads in really slowly, so I could have planted a few more. You can bunch them in quite closely. But I do love how this Dusty Miller is a little bit different than the leaf on this Dusty Miller. They're so easy to grow, and it doesn't get more silver than that. This is my favorite sweet potato vine of all time. This is the Red Heart. But look as that new growth comes in. I love the contrast of the purple foliage with the green. It's got a little bit of that purple edging, and they'll start to turn purple as they are exposed to sunlight more and more often. But I love this one because it's a little bit more compact, a little bit bushier, a little bit taller, and it's a little bit more controllable. Some sweet potato vine just goes crazy. So I'll have to trim it up as it starts to meander into the driveway a little bit, but I love the color too. They're just so gorgeous, especially with that Dusty Miller. So it's going to continue to fill in all of this area. But these are my favorite zinnias, the white profusion, like I said. Look at these. These are going crazy. And they're about 12 to 18 inches tall. I do have a few that are getting quite tall, up to 24 inches tall. But they will just keep blooming all the way until fall. I don't worry about deadheading them. That would obviously be too much work. But they don't really get the powdery mildew like your other zinnias. They stay a little bit more compact, and they just bloom like crazy. And this is kind of becoming my pollinator magnet. There's so many bees, so many butterflies. And right here, so I've heard a lot about the Victoria Blue Salvia, but I've never really grown it, and everyone just raves about it. So I was excited to try it out this year, and I can see why. Look how many blooms it has, and it just will continue to go on. And then look at that drift as they go down there. But love this one. The bumblebees absolutely love it. I love the leaves on it too. They're really nice and glossy. And right here, this is what my purple gumfrena. They're going to continue to get bigger and spread a little bit more. They're also known as globe amaranth. And then right here, we've got the mixed color of the profusion zinnias. This one is so cool. It's a little bit on the peachy orange side, and it has striping throughout. And I've got those bright pink ones that are super cute. I thought it was nice to add a little color right here along with the white ones. Don't give up hope on your annuals too soon if you feel like they're not doing much, because once they start to take off, they go crazy. Here is my black and blue salvia. It's finally starting to pop out. It's taking forever this year, so I'm a little bit early on showing you these, but this is when I'm finally going to be able to see some hummingbirds. I hang out right up here. So these black and blue salvias are the ones that I've been overwintering for the last 3 years. 3 years ago, I bought 3 plants, so I just continue to use them each year. I divided 3 this year and made 7 of them. There's one that's actually blooming quite a bit. So they're just really awesome plants. So easy to store in my greenhouse or in my basement. So definitely consider buying these. I know I keep talking about them, but I get a lot of comments about these black and blue salvia. It's a popular plant. So I'm on this other side. It doesn't get as much sunlight as this bed over here because of my maple tree. So this shades it kind of in the afternoon for 2 to 3 hours. So these ones are not taking off as quickly. And then I've got some of my red spike amaranth that I grew last year. So I'm a little bit early on showing you this. If I waited for a month, this would all be filled in. This was a tiny little amaranth that I transplanted from my cutting garden that wintered over. Did not think it was going to survive. I transplanted it in the heat, and it was literally like the tiniest little seed. There's my crazy amaranth. It's actually cutting flower, so it does look nice in vases. I definitely could have put a few more in here, so I just grew these in the greenhouse. They are going to be fun for my fall bouquets. I'll cut some and put them in with some of my other fall flowers. So here is my container pots. This was also an afterthought. I planted these quite late, but I do like this sweet potato vine. I like the bigger leaves. I don't love these ones as much, but they're so easy to grow. They're starting to sprawl over those container pots. I love this annual. I wish I had put a nice canna lily in the center with all of these beautiful colors. I'm loving the dark red foliage with the orange and this silver vine that will have cute flowers here in a little bit. I'll have to highlight that when it starts to take off. I haven't fertilized these, so I'm gonna fertilize here. I think I'm motivated enough to do it for the next month or two so that these really can take off, but they're kind of funky. I'm done growing. Nicotiana does not like my climate. I've tried. These were supposed to get taller, just doesn't take off. So I tried again, round 2, because I love these plants. Just not as happy here. I need something taller, obviously, in the center. This is where it gets a lot of shade. These are my container pots. So the coleus, once they start taking off, they take off really quickly, but they are slow to do that. So just be patient with them. I haven't fertilized any of these container pots. These are the white impatiens. They're doing great. I like them with the coleus. And then I've got some creeping Jenny that I transplanted in spring from a flower bed. I'm kind of slowly getting rid of them. I just want a little bit of them in my actual flower beds. This area does get a little bit more sunlight, about 3 to 4 hours of morning sunlight. At noon it gets shady, but this vine loves that amount of sunlight. And then the impatiens are doing great with that. They don't mind the heat as long as they have that afternoon protection. I've only fertilized them once this year. I'll probably do it today and then be done for the gardening season because they just don't seem to need a lot of fertilizer. Ooh, I had to get out of the sunshine. It's getting really hot. Anyways, I hope you guys like this little update. I'm continually having to put stuff in my flower beds that are a little bit more low maintenance. Things are just getting busier. So these flowers that I highlighted are a few that will definitely suit your needs if you're feeling the same way that I am. Anyways, thanks so much for supporting my channel. Have a great day gardening. We'll talk to you later. Bye.